Hi there. So following up from my last video, I want to talk a little bit about how we fix this problem that we have in the UK advisor technology landscape. The answer is very simple. We need everyone, providers, platforms, and indeed technology providers to move towards an open API. And the seed of this has already been sown when the FCA published their call for input on open finance. And so the headline is this: whether you like it or not, there is a big boulder coming down the hill and we've got to prepare for them. But I see some very, very bad thinking out there. So we're going to talk about it and we're going to fix it. So one of the ideas being bandied about is this concept of a single integration endpoint. Okay, so the idea is that providers can send data to this integration endpoint, and that financial planning software, CRM systems can build, can pull data, and maybe send data back, to this integration endpoint. And the at least the one I have seen, the one one middleman being proposed or put forward is the Origo integration hub. Okay, well, the problem with this idea is that you create dependency issues. So everyone in this equation becomes heavily dependent on Origo integration hub. The Origo integration hub goes down, we're all buggered, all right? And in any case, when you think about how open banking is involved, it's not just flow of data, it's also flow of information, it's also flow of transactions. So open banking is now being used in IDMV, it's now being used in payments. And so to rely on one single party to power all of that is just a little bit too much. And so if you think about some of the tech providers on this side of things, they might have different requirements, such as being able to send rebalancing information or transaction request back to the platform. Maybe being able to track transfer of pensions and ISAs. To rely on a single provider or a single technology for all of that is a little bit too much, creates a dependency issue. And so what we need to do is to move towards an open API type environment. Okay, and so and this is already happening, by the way. There is nothing fundamentally new about providers and platforms publishing open API. The only platform in the advice space with an open API is Nucleus. But others like IntelliFlow, they have an open API, and the idea is that each provider publishes their own API. They would only need to maintain a single set of APIs, and the idea is that others can connect to their own to these APIs. Now, the key being that the provider only needs to maintain their own set of APIs. Others can connect to the APIs. The provider dictates what kind of APIs they want to have. maybe you have standards, but that's not essential in my view. You don't necessarily need everyone to agree to the same sort of common standard. As a matter of fact, that can be problematic. So each provider only need to publish and maintain their own API. The others connecting to you would need to do the hard work, the development work of connecting to you, and that opens a lot of room. You have room for competition, but also you can have, if you want, aggregators in the middle. And indeed, this is how we think about this. So in the US, for instance, you have the likes of Plaid, you have the likes of Morningstar by all account, and they plug in and pull data from all of this. And the way we're thinking about this is that timeline integration will kind of sit here. We can plug directly to CRMs, for instance, or platforms, for instance. And again, one of the things that we're starting to see actually is that if you think of the current UK advisor platform space, and indeed the wider platform space, there are only 4, maybe 5 underlying technology provider, and they're building their own API. This is all the more reason why I don't think this is the way to go. I do believe that Origo is part of the equation, particularly in pulling data from the old legacy providers. But as far as platforms are concerned, they need to either publish their own or indeed get their underlying technology provider to publish one. So for instance, you have the FNZ has the Tapico ham, which is essentially building an app, an open API application for the FNZ group platform. You have similar thing going on with Bravura and others in this space. But the idea is we're moving towards an open finance environment rather than actually what is a closed environment. Because as I said, the idea of open finance and open APIs isn't just about flow of information. This sows the seed down the line for other things as well. I hope that makes sense. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. Thank you.